Okay, guys. Welcome back to another bit of Destiny 2. Bungie released some news today, and today we're talking about Trials. Now, we scrolled through this a little bit, we read through a little bit, but we're talking about the revamp beginning. And I know there were a lot of complaints, even from myself. I was definitely in that audience, talking about Trials, how when it came out was kind of like half-baked, and they didn't fully think through, I think, a lot of the consequences for what people would deal with going into Trials. So, Trials of Osiris, the revamp begins. As announced in the Destiny 2 showcase, we just put a video up yesterday of our live reactions of that. I think our reactions are absolute gold. Headphone warning, there was yelling because the showcase was lit. Anyway, we have some changes planned for Trials of Osiris, mode changes, matchmaking tuning, and more. If you're a Trials novice, I'm Pepega. Here's a quick breakdown of what to expect on September 10th, 2021. That is not next week, but I think the week after. We want to make Trials more accessible, no matter your skill level or fireteam size. We want to make Trials more rewarding, whether you're winning matches or earning reputation with Saint 14. We want to make Trials more engaging, testing out changes to elimination and reintroducing labs to Destiny 2. Now, firstly, I don't know why Bungie got rid of Crucible Labs. That was a good idea for them to include in the first place, so they could put weird game modes in the game or experiment with things in the overall sandbox. The only reason I don't think it did well as a playlist is because there was no real incentive for players to go in there and try things. So when they reintroduce that, I think if they make it more valuable for you as a player, for your time to go in there, I think more people will engage in it. As far as their goals, they have some pretty clear set goals here. They want to make Trials more accessible, more rewarding, and more engaging. So with those three in mind, we're going to read the rest of this. If that's all you need to hear, great. Check back in a few weeks for a full suite of patch notes. Below, you'll find in-depth walkthroughs of our goals and changes we're making to achieve them. Today, Ritual Lead Alan Blaine is in the hot seat. When that comes out, we will do a reading of those patch notes, and we will link. Well, that'll obviously be its own video, but we'll also link that here if after the fact you're seeing this. Hey everyone, this is Alan Blaine. I'm not Alan Blaine, I'm Sunbro, but the Rituals lead, and I'd like to talk with you about Trials of Osiris. Trials has had a few issues that we'd like to address, each somewhat interlinked: population, rewards, and matchmaking. So I've talked about that in the past. Population is one of the #1 issues that plagues Trials of Osiris. Because of the low population, you end up with a really distilled, sweaty environment. I know I've talked with friends that don't hold that same opinion, but I really feel like population is one of the cornerstones for what Trials has been in the past. We believe Trials of Osiris plays best for everyone, and so they bolded that, so for everyone, when it has a large and diverse population of players who are all chasing rewards and competition for a wide variety of reasons. Too often, Trials has just two populations: the flawless or bust crew, or folks who just want to get the 3-win reward for the weekend and get out, which is fair. While we support both of those mindsets, having a majority of players falling into just two camps is not healthy for Trials. With that in mind, we are undertaking a series of targeted changes to help support more players with more in-game goals. Some of the changes are subtle, some are quite large, some have been suggested by the player base, and some might be a surprise. Before we dig in, let's outline a few of our development goals. So this is again speaking to their objective. They want to get more people playing, doing something besides the flawless or bust and resetting their cards, feeling like they can win more often, feeling like the rewards are on par with similar other activities in the game, and embracing movement, conflict, and resolution during a match. So it sounds like they want to make the game mode a little more dynamic and a little less roly-poly. Scheduling. First and foremost, Trials will be taking a short hiatus at the beginning of Season 15. In our goals of maintaining a healthy population, we'd like to remove issues where players are torn between multiple PvP or endgame goals for a given weekend. So, we're making the following changes for all of our future seasons, starting in Season 15. No Trials Week 1 or before Raids World First. I think this is a very, very, very good change. It's the absolute worst when there's a brand new raid dropping and they have like new trials loot that you want to get, and you have to pick and choose how you're spending your time that weekend, because trials grinding might get you the weapon, but if you're trials grinding, you're also not doing the powerful grind like on all three characters to get the most out of getting raid ready. No trials during Iron Banner. Overlapping limited time PvP events aren't good for the health of either game mode. I think that says what it says. That's fair. Trials of Osiris will return on September 10th, 2021. Now let's dig into the changes to the overall mode and its reward structure. Okay. Access changes. We're making some changes to provide broad access to more players. While Trials is a highly competitive PvP environment, the bar to enter feels too high. So, they've reduced the requirements for Trials Access Quest to use lifetime Valor ranks and kills. This should open Trials to more long-term Crucible dabblers. So folks that have come in and played the game a little bit, they're not getting locked out. That's always a good thing. Trials now allows queuing and matchmaking without a full fire team. We want to allow more players to try out and start earning rewards even if they don't have a fire team. You can enter the playlist solo or with a friend, and matchmaking will fill the rest of your fire team for you. So I like that you can load in solo. So they gave it the comp and the Iron Banner thing, which I like. So if I want to play with just one other friend and go in and we want to try to just play with randoms and see how it goes, we can. Or we have freelance trials, which is no pre-made fire team, solos only, via the labs. More on that below. Going flawless on your own will be hard to impossible, but we are sure someone will do it thanks to other players they match with. Grenadier Jake. Trials of Osiris now requires the annual expansion to play. Now, we were talking a little bit about it before, so I want to turn over the floor to my friend, Ashley Draws, and hear her perspective on her opinion of that, and then I want to give my perspective, and you can let us know what you think in the comments below. So, Draws, I know that was a sticking point for you, so how do you feel about that?
It's nice. I think it's good that the change is on hand. The bad thing, or I suggest, is that it was too early. They just recently implemented their first version of anti-cheat, as well as providing good data on their own one, because they want to make their own anti-cheat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know that 100%, but I'm pretty sure they are developing their own anti-cheat in-house.
Worst case scenario, they could use it to help improve Battle Eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just work on it.
Oh, okay, so that's what you were... I didn't catch that when you were saying that earlier. So you're saying if they wouldn't have made you... right now, you need to own Beyond Light to play Trials. So you're saying if they didn't do that, they could really let Battle Eye stretch its legs on the cheater?
Yeah. They could get a feel for it. They would know what to test for, what to look for, and they could, add more to Battle Eye. So when they have automatic banning enabled on it, it would really hit home on these cheaters.
Okay.
Because this is where they're most common, right?
So I think it's a double-edged sword, but I personally am okay with this decision. While I 100% see where Draws is coming from, where being able to test out Battle Eye, if Bungie is rolling out mass changes to Trials as a playlist, the first impression of that playlist, I think, is going to be super important for the overall health going forward. And so they're making these changes not in a vacuum, but cumulatively to show they are moving and progressing that playlist forward. I know it's super frustrating, and some people just boldly use the rage cheats because it doesn't matter for them, because Timmy Two Toes or whatever is gonna just make another free-to-play account, log back in, and he's already paid for, we've found in the past, right, that most of these cheating services are prescription based, right, or subscription based, right? So they pay for 30 days, a month or a year, whatever they pay for, and they have it. So as soon as they make a new account, they can go in with blue weapons, and it doesn't matter. Um, so I think that this is a good move. I think having players go in and experience a properly competitive playlist without someone infinitely respawning or like firing Whisper the Worm like an LMG. What I think Draws and I have even seen someone firing uh, Wardcliff Coil like that. Like just imagine hundreds of Wardcliff Coil rockets flying around a map, right? It's hilarious, but a little less so when you're on the receiving end of it in a competitive game mode. So I personally think that's a decent change. It's unfortunate for the people that play free to play. It sucks, but if you're someone that's really going in and you're playing Trials of Osiris dedicated every week, I imagine you probably fall into the camp of person that owns the expansion, and I'm sure Bungie probably looked at that. So now we're looking at activity rule set changes. Over the last few seasons, we've been taking a look through player feedback and internal playtest notes to target specific pain points. The following changes should help reduce stalling gameplay and snowballing behavior that makes it harder to catch up once you're behind. So they've reduced the round time to 90 seconds from 120 seconds. Stalling to wait for ability energy is not fun for either the winning or losing team. This will not eliminate stalling, but will lessen the amount of stalling that can take place. We will talk about other plans to help this further down in the article. Emotes stay in first-person camera. Swords can't be equipped unless you have ammo. This change is also an elimination to survival also, so any competitive style game modes, you no longer can 3-peek. If you run out of sword ammo, it swaps to a different weapon, much like if you run out of ammo with one of your weapons and try to pull the trigger. Special and heavy ammo no longer carries over between rounds. That's actually gigantic. Because you'd have some Yeet Lord, playing with a sniper, get 2 lucky picks, and then suddenly he has 6 shots, and he can just fire down range indiscriminately the next round, and it doesn't matter if he misses the first 4 shots if he gets a pick. I think resetting at the start of every round is a good change. Everyone starts out fair and balanced. What do you think about that, Dross?
Another weapon it really works well against is grenade launchers, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Before, how we play Trials, so like you'd count the amount of grenade launcher shots coming down a hallway,
and you'd be like, "Oh, they're out," and then they'd have the sneaky like double scav on, and they'd hit you with one.
Yeah, and you don't know if they're either cheating or if they've got more shots, right? So you feel like you're torn, and you're either mentally deciding, wow, did I just get killed by cheats, or did they just they outplaying me? Have they got an extra mod on that I don't have? Like, it's no extra skill, right? You just think, hey, they're out, and you die to a silly mistake, which like is just solved by having an extra mod on or whatever. So this is good.
Yeah, some of the scavenger mods were super powerful. Like I don't know what double grenade launcher scav would give you, but it's probably 3 or 4 shots is what it would give you before. They've reduced double scav now, or eliminated double scav now. But before, I think it would give you like probably 4 grenades to put in your noob tube, right? Mm-hmm. If you had double scavs.
Absolutely.
So, rewards and reputation. As mentioned above, we'd like to give players more of a reason to play past 3-win rewards. As such, we are opening up more rewards to more players more often. Saint 14 will be receiving a full reputation overhaul and gaining the ability to focus trials engrams for specific rewards. Adept weapons will continue to require a full flawless passage to be earned. So that's neat too. That like if you've dedicated the time to play for the weekend, and like right now we know what all the trials weapons are, but maybe you don't have the exact role on the Eye of Soul or on Shayura's Wrath, and you have a role you're hunting for, being able to focus in and farm that weapon to get your role will make that a lot better feeling, because it really stinks when you like we've had days where we've played full days of trials and you turn in your tokens and you're like, sweet, I got a gauntlet and 2 warlock bonds.
Yeah,
that feels bad, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Saint 14.
I'm kind of curious about
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Price, though.
What
because it's supposed to, they just retired trials tokens, haven't they? Right?
I wanna I want to see
Main
what they.
currencies are either glimmer or legendary shards. From
I
what
want
I've
to
seen.
see what they say. I think they cover that. I think they cover that in this. I'm not 100. I was skimming it earlier. I think so. Saint 14 is getting a new Trials ranks, reputation, and rewards track. Trials tokens have been retired, so like you were saying, no more tokens. Reputation gained at a match complete based on the number of rounds won on your ticket. That's really good because it incentivizes you to play. Even if you're getting trounced by a team, it incentivizes you to at least play it out and try to get some wins. Tickets track up to 20 round wins now. Emphasizing the winning individual rounds for the core rewards gives players more achievable goals at all skill levels, which is true. Because then, even if you're not going flawless, your team can go in and get the reward. You know what I mean? If you play the playlist, you'll get those. Since
That
you don't
too,
have.
right? It helps the middle ground out, because if you're not flawless, right? Imagine you go 4-4 someone, and they get a pick and win the last round. Your 4-4 doesn't mean nothing, You're still
Yep.
getting credit for playing a good game.
Yeah, you still get the 4 wins worth of yeah. Ranking up gives you Trials Engram. More on that in a bit. Powerful Trials Engram show up every 3 rank ups before your first reset of the season. Just like other ritual reputations, there are other rewards to earn every 3 ranks, and each Trials rank has one of the unique Trials weapons at rank 10, rank 16, and for each reset of the first 3 resets of Season 15. One of the most restrictive things about the prior trial system was the emphasis on winning, and winning often, to get any rewards. While winning matches will still pave the road to the lighthouse, we're making some changes to let players enter the activity and earn rewards without having to reset their passages frequently. So this specifically, okay, this deals a fatal blow to incentivizing teams to get 3 wins and granted, tokens are gone now too, but to get 3 wins and reset card and 3 wins and reset card. And then I know Draws has also experienced that with me, where you go in and you check a team on Destiny Trials Report or Trials Tracker or whatever, and it's like, oh, this team's been flawless 22 times this weekend so far, right? Passages no longer track losses. A passage is either flawless or not. This allows you to keep playing and earning match and round wins for rewards. I think we suggested this when we were talking about it before.
We did. There was something
we've definitely talked about that.
Like this.
We've definitely I've almost said that was a good idea in and of itself.
So do you remember before, right, when we were doing trials and we would get to 3 wins and we'd get the tokens and we'd reset because getting to 5 or 7 is insanely hard, right?
Yeah, so the first game is usually fight for your life, and then games 2 or 3 are it's trials, so it's not a cakewalk, right, but it's a game. You get to game 4 and 5, and you feel like you might as well be getting paid $20,000 at the end of this match. Forget game 7. Someone has a gun, a sniper rifle, in the other room pointed at your head. If you miss a shot, you're out for realsies. That's that's how it felt before.
So, you know what's really good though?
Uh-huh.
You remember the passage that gives you more tokens for 3, 5, and 7?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they're gonna do with that for the because obviously
I want to see if they say something about it. So they say players may continue to reset their passages after a loss. So if you are farming flawless or you're that category of player, you still can do that, but are no longer forced after 3 losses total. Passages track up to 20 rounds won. After 20 rounds won, then you will have to reset your card. Passages have been reordered. Mercy is not super useful unless you're trying to go flawless, and have had all their prices significantly reduced. Passages are now account-wide. So say you start a passage on your Titan and you get a couple wins, and you're like, man, I kind of feel like playing my Hunter. I'm feeling like a little bit of that Stompies action. You can play that same card on another player, or on another character now. That's huge.
So this has actually got 2. This has also got hidden meaning to it as well. So not only is it great that you can switch characters and pull your card onto another, but this indirectly targets one method of win trading that was quite common.
Yep. Well, and you've got to note too, according to their last update, right? With win trading specifically, that is they're watching, and that's a bannable offense now. So for teams going in and doing that win trading, like if you get it, like is it worth it? Like is it worth risking losing your entire account to just get that win this weekend?
And now they're just hard knowing it. You know, it's a cross count.
Yeah. Each week, there are 2 Pinnacle Challenges for trials. Win 7 matches total in a given weekend, and you get a Pinnacle. Win 50 rounds, and you get a Pinnacle. So I think you're going to have a lot of folks going for winning 7 matches. Like, if your card isn't constantly getting dumpstered, and it's just tracking wins, and it's not like, it's not 7 games consecutively, it's 7 games total. So winning 7 games gives you a Pinnacle. Winning 50 rounds gives you a Pinnacle. And depending on how your weekend's going, those, you would hope not, but those could wind up being similar in time. You might just get 2 Pinnacles anyway. Bonus progress based on the number of wins on your card. 3, 5, 7 win challenges have been removed. Once you max out your reputation, you can reset and claim an Ascendant Shard or Exotic Engram. Like other ritual reputations, trials ranks and rewards reset each season. Additionally, we'd like to keep players going deeper into their cards, rather than resetting each time they lose a match. Match wins on 7-win card have a chance to drop an extra trials engram, masterworking materials, and a high stat trials armor. I want to know what Bungie calls high stat, because I've gotten high stat armor that's like 45.
Well, yeah, but there aren't many sources of high stat armor, isn't there? But
That's
like
fair.
a lot of Iron Banner, that's the main source of high stat, right?
So that's true. That's
I'm
true.
pretty sure that's like 60 plus, isn't it? So
Yeah,
it might be
yeah,
pretty
no,
good.
you're right.
And with the new ghost mods that let you pick 10 in a stat, this could be really strong.
That could be, you could end up, like, if you really want to focus, 1 or 2 abilities, it might be a little easier to put those armor sets together.
Like, you guarantee yourself a 10 in mobility, and it's way easier to hit the 10 in the other one you need, right?
Yep. The Lighthouse experience isn't changing. A unique Pinnacle Adept weapon each week the first time you visit on your account. All the mods and cosmetics are available in the chest rewards during return visits. The Trials Engram, as mentioned above, will be overhauling Trials Engrams to give players a more direct way to earn Trials rewards. Trials Engrams now decrypt to a random selection from current armor and non-adept weapons. You do not need to unlock a piece of armor or weapon before it shows up in the engram. Oh, that's good. That's a good change. That's a really good change. That's a really, really good change.
Wait, could you repeat that one for me?
You do not need to unlock a piece of armor or weapon before it shows up in the engram. So before we played, and it'd be like, oh, the 5-win reward is Eye of Soul. And, if you just had an unlucky week that week and you just didn't get it right, you didn't get it. But now, if you're earning engrams, you still have a chance at that drop. And that's separate from the focused engram that you can get, for completing the reputations. You can focus your engrams at Saint 14 to decrypt specific items that you've already received. If you've gone flawless that week, you can focus additional drops of the weekly adept weapon, expected to be a bit expensive. Okay, so if you're a team that goes flawless, this further incentivizes you to continue going flawless because you can continually get drops of that adept weapon so that you not only have an adept weapon, but a good roll of it, like your roll. What do you think of that?
I was actually thinking the opposite, right? Because if it's not a currency limited to trials, right? So people can come in, get 1 flawless, right? And not have to worry about getting more, so you won't match into teams that have 39 flawlesses for the week, right?
I think it says expected to be a bit expensive, so it's probably going to cost like Ascendant Shards or something to. Maybe, like if they're removing tokens, they're not going to make it Glimmer expensive. You'll get that Glimmer back by the time you go flawless.
I imagine the basic engrams for the non-adept weapons will be like legendary shards, glimmer, or something cheaper.
Mhm.
But yeah, maybe for adept weapons, maybe it costs like a stupid amount of prisms or a gold or a shard or something. But
Mhm.
I don't know. A lot of people have those too, so
But you can only have
we'll see.
10 before you need to get more, right? So like, we'll see what that turns out to. Matchmaking. We believe that card-based matchmaking is very valuable and can add some significant drama at the right time, but it is best when all players participating have the same end goal or similar performance characteristics. Too often, flawless or bust players get mixed in with all the players that have different goals and skill set, and that misalignment can cause problems. You now start matchmaking with players that have the same number of wins on the card and with similar Trials game performance on the given week. Okay, so this last part, the similar Trials game performance of like the given week, that's huge.
Massive.
That's huge. I've had games where I played Frostbolt.
As I say, you literally.
I don't belong in a lobby with Frostbolt. I'm a potato that can hold a controller. We've
That too, right? We have often lobbies where we have to like check who we're playing against because we don't know if we've matched against like the best 5 gamers in the universe. Or
yeah,
something
I want to know if
crazy.
Gigs is about to feed me his nuts. That's all I'm saying. We have a bunch of different factors planned, and we'll be watching and tuning these balanced match quality versus matchmaking time. So they've got them on a slider, clearly. So if they're looking at it and it's taking too long to matchmake, they'll make adjustments. If matchmaking takes too long, it widens the similarity check until it finds enough opponents for the match to start. This probably ties specifically to the freelance playlist. Mostly. Given that you can load into the regular playlist with 2 people now, I mean, maybe. It'll also be interesting to see how lobby balancing comes into play. Alright, security update. Yesterday we announced a list of updates to our Destiny 2 security policy. In our goals of increasing the Trials population, we're also looking to protect our players, the competitive environment of Trials, and its rewards. The article covers the following: BattleEye anti-cheat, initiatives outside of the digital realm, win trading, and account recoveries. For full details, follow this link in the article. This news article will be in the description of the video, and if you want to read that article, you'll have to go to this article and do all that. Is what it is. Trials Labs. While we're excited for all these changes, we're also looking forward to the future. What other improvements could be made down the road to benefit the playlist? We'd like to give you all an opportunity to try out some of the things we're thinking on. For veteran Crucible players out there, you may recognize the name. It's time for the reintroduction of Labs. Over the course of Season 15, we will be running a number of Trials of Osiris Lab weekends where we would test out targeted changes and collect analytics and feedback from you. This will generally take time over the entire mode for the weekend so we can get as many players as possible. We have 3 labs planned for Season 15. Capture/Elimination Hybrid. 1 capture point activates 30 seconds after each round starts, with an extended capture timer. The capture location changes each round, as do spawn locations. Capture, it wins the round, or you can always just eliminate the other team. We believe this will help further curb round stalling and has made matches during internal playtesting much more dynamic. However, we would like to get the opinion of a wider audience before making such significant changes to the mode in a more permanent fashion. Trials Freelance, a separate node from the main Trials activity where only solo players can queue. While we believe this is the right change in a vacuum, we aren't sure if splitting Trials into 2 matchmaking pools will deliver low matchmaking times and high quality play in both pools at the same time. Prove us wrong. No intro quests. 1 weekend where players have never played in the Crucible can just play. Okay. We don't have a firm date for each of the above lab weekends, but before they run, we'll let you know in a future TWAB or our various social channels and in the director. Since we know many of you are eager to dip your toes in the solo queue Trials experience, we'll leave you with one small hit. What month comes after September? As always, As always, we reserve the right to adjust scheduling as needed, and we'll be listening closely to your feedback. That's it. That's it. Let us know
That's a
what you
lot.
think of this in the comments below. It is a lot. It's a whole lot of information that we got. Guys, we're back regularly playing Destiny 2. We're also playing Final Fantasy. We're also playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And you can find all that content on our YouTube channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe. You all take care.